let's talk about how to write your experience descriptions. So, when you have your 15 experiences, you've done a lot of things in each of these experiences. And obviously, 700 characters doesn't give you enough space to talk about everything you've done. But if you're strategic about how you approach these, you can actually lead your reader to understand many different things about you if they read all of them. So, what you want to do is I always encourage people to use the first sentence in their description to kind of just create context. What were you doing? Literally, like, what was your job? Now, if you're a scribe, you don't have to say, I was a scribe. You would say, working for X number of physicians in an outpatient clinic. We served a diverse community where I documented, and so, you might say, oh, do I need to say I documented? Everybody knows what a scribe does. But truthfully, I've met a lot of scribes who do different things. Some scribes only document, whereas I've met other scribes who do the vitals and the history. So that, I wouldn't assume that everybody knows exactly what you did because different jobs entail different things. Same things with an EMT. Not all EMTs work in the exact same setting. Some people only do transports for elderly, some people work on the streets. So it's very different. I would create context by showing where you worked, who you served, the type of people you worked with, that kind of thing. So that's your first sentence. Now, for every experience, you really want there to be a takeaway. And the takeaway is not about medicine. The takeaway is about you. How did that experience, what did you learn from that experience? What do you take away from that experience that you're going to carry with you into medicine? So if you know ahead of time what that experience, what that takeaway is, then when you're telling what you did or when you're describing your accomplishment or whatever it is you're describing in your experience description, you're leading into that takeaway. So you're going to funnel your sentences to that final sentence, which is, having worked 3 years at this such and such restaurant. I really developed my conflict resolution skills and my confidence in handling difficult people. Hopefully, in that description, you talked about customers who maybe complained a lot, or how you, as the manager of whatever, had to handle a lot of conflict or complaints. So, you could choose, if you worked at a restaurant, you could choose to talk about managing conflict with customers. You could also talk about working in a fast-paced environment, and then the takeaway could be that you were able to remain calm under under those conditions. You could talk about handling lots of orders at the same time and being able to like really stay focused and pay attention to detail. So there's lots of different ways you can approach a single experience. You decide how you're going to approach that one experience. But when you compare that one experience to the other 15, each experience should have a unique takeaway. You don't want to keep saying the same thing over and over. Like, you wouldn't want three experiences that talk about leadership, or three experiences that talk about managing conflict. So if you know ahead of time where you're heading with each of those experiences, you could literally write next to your experiences. You can make a little, colon and be like patience, communication, leadership, conflict resolution, all the attributes and competencies that med schools are looking for. You can predetermine where you're going with those experiences. And then when you write them, make sure your descriptions lead you there. So then when the readers are reading all of your experiences together, they're pulling all of these different competencies about you from your experience descriptions. And then when you pair that with your three meaningful, which also highlight three different things about you, because those are showing, how did this experience change you? What was the transformative nature of this experience? But instead of, just telling them like you are in your 700 characters, now you're telling a story. So you're showing them how it changed you. And then you're telling them in that last line, how did this experience impact you? So the experiences are a very strategic part of your application to show more things about you. And I would encourage you to think about what you're doing. I really do not recommend telling stories in your 700 characters. I don't know how you can effectively tell a story in a little bitty paragraph. Just focus on what you learned. And I promise, like, that will work. It'll be good enough. All of my applicants do this, and it works for them every single year. So if you have any questions, or if you just want your experiences edited after you've written all of them, that's something I do. I edit experience descriptions every day. So you can book an editing session with me, and I would be happy to edit, all 5 pages of your experiences. All right, good luck writing.